got questions, we've got answers. We have the man to answer them. Jeffrey Levine from Buckingham Wealth Partners. Jeffrey, welcome back to another episode of Ask the Hammer.
Hey, it is fantastic to be with you as always, Bob.
Fantastic to have you. I've got plenty of questions in my inbox, one of which goes like this. On August 6, 2021, the U.S. Department of Education announced a final extension of the pause on federal student loan payments to January 31st, 2022. The payment moratorium, currently in effect for millions of federal student loan borrowers, was set to end on September 30th, 2021. Does it make sense for me to make payments or to wait until the moratorium ends?
Another one of my favorite questions that has the answer of, it depends. Let's see. So let's start diving into this question and see really what we should be thinking about. Ultimately, it comes down to most of us, right? Save for only those that are just in a category in and of themselves. Most of us have limited amounts of dollars to do the things that we want. And so it's either do this or do that. But we can't spend the same dollar at the same place, right? It can only go into one location. So the question here really becomes, if you're not going to put those dollars towards your student loan debt, what are you putting them towards? Where is that money going? If we look at the pausing of the student, it's not just that we have a moratorium on making payments. There's no interest accruing during this time, right? So on one hand, it's a great opportunity to pay down your debt because you're not accruing interest. On the other hand, if you do have other types of debt that do carry an interest rate, paying those other types of debt down is going to reduce your overall, that is, you're paying down more expensive debt, right? And that's something we talk about often in our episodes together, Bob, is finding the most expensive debt as a place you generally want to start from looking at your payment schedule. What makes sense to get rid of first, particularly in the case where, it's still possible that you may have a student loan forgiveness effort here, either later this year or beyond. It's also, those who are in the public, who are doing public service and may be entitled to loan forgiveness under that option, the public service loan forgiveness option. You want to make sure you're not paying on this debt, right? Notably, if you spend enough time doing public service, your debt will be wiped out. So making payments now is literally spending dollars paying down principal that you may never have to repay to begin with. So I think for most people who have this option, they might be better off either paying down other debt. If you are someone who lives with minimal or no debt, then maybe this is a great opportunity to put some money towards your retirement contributions or so forth. Think about this. If you're young enough or I shouldn't say if you're young enough, if your income is modest enough to make a Roth IRA contribution, if you're not over those income limits, well, maybe put the money there. Hopefully you could do better than your rate of return, your interest rate as a rate of return in your Roth over time. But if you decide later on, let's say just a few months from now, you decide that was kind of a mistake. Well, if you put $6,000 into your Roth IRA today, and let's just say there are no gains or no losses to keep things simple. And in November of this year, you decide, boy, I really wish I would have, put that towards my student debt. You can always take it out of your Roth IRA. So the contributions you make there are always tax and penalty free. So it's about thinking outside the box. And again, if I have something that is not costing me anything to delay those payments, the concept of time value of money, right? In other words, by doing something today, my dollars are worth more today than they are at some point in the future, especially in an inflationary environment, which we seem to be a little bit more this year than in recent years. It's worth pushing off those payments. It costs you less in real dollars, so to speak, to do that. So again, not a blanket across the board, everyone delay, no one make your payments on your student debt. But for most people, I think there will be better opportunities elsewhere than paying down interest-free debt at this time.
All right, Jeffrey, I think once again, you helped that reader and plenty of others as well.
Well, appreciate it. And if you have a question for Bob and I you'd like us to tackle, give us a shout. Email us here at askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. Again, that's askthehammer@buckinghamgroup.com. And Bob and I look forward to tackling your question real soon.